What's up, Pokemaniacs? I am the Online Orphan, and I am your analyst for Season 2 of the Pokemon Uber League, and we are back for our Week 10 Power Rankings video, so make sure you guys hit that like button down below and subscribe for all of our content. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our post-Week 10 battle power ranking. So starting off with the bottom five, we have the Durham G Bulls sitting at the 0-10 record with a forfeit loss this week. Nothing to say really there. Up next in the number 19 spot is the Southern Blazikins, now with the 2-8 record. Once again, another forfeit loss. Moving on to the number 18 spot this week is going to be the Brighton Bulldors with that 2-8 record, taking a 5-0 loss this week, and unfortunately just unable to gain any sort of momentum in this battle, and seemingly their own Groudon allowing the opponent to sweep through them. Next up in the number 17 spot, we have the Umende Explouds, now with a 3-7 record, falling 5 spots this week, losing a 6-0 sweep. They did have an unfortunate crit towards the beginning of the battle, but were just unable to get rid of all the status effects placed on them and then prevent the Marshadow from doing all the damage. Next up in the number 16 spot, we have the Jacksonville Jolteon at a 3-7 record, moving up a spot this week, losing their battle 4-0 to a top-tier team, just really having difficulty breaking through the opposing Milotic, seemingly a bit of a stall war there towards that part of the battle, but not a bad game by the Jolteons by any means. So moving into our next 5 coaches here, we are starting with number 15, the Sleeping Snorlax. The Sleeping Snorlax now with the 4-6 record, staying where they were from last week in the power rankings, and only taking a 0-1 loss this week. Had a really good start to the battle, but seemingly wasting the Greninja there. I feel as though if the Greninja had stuck around towards the end of the battle, it could have helped them secure a victory, especially if it had some form of priority. Next up in the number 14 spot is the Blazing Infernapes. The Blazing Infernapes falling 4 spots this week, now with a 5-5 record, and another forfeit loss this week. Next up in the number 13 spot, we have the Montreal Canadienses, also falling 4 spots this week with the 5-5 record, losing their battle 3-0. And just unfortunately unable to recover in this battle from the early KOs and just not able to gain any sort of momentum after those first few turns. So not a bad battle, but just not able to pull out any sort of late game momentum. Coming in at the number 12 spot this week, we have the Seattle Slowpokes. The Seattle Slowpokes moving up 3 spaces this week, now with the 5-5 record from a forfeit win this week. In the number 11 spot, we have the Cleveland Crobats. The Cleveland Crobats also moving up 2 spaces themselves this week with a 5-5 record and a forfeit win this week. So now we will be jumping into our top 10. We do have one more forfeit win to go over, but that should be it for the rest of them, so we can actually talk about the battles. So into the top 10 we go, and we start with the Cardwell Colossals. Cardwell Colossals moving up 1 into the top 10, now with the 5-5 record and winning their battle 1-0. Excellent use of hazards to wear down the opponent and then Swellow just being the end game MVP for the Colossals. Swellow is actually a favorite of mine in the Draft League format, so really excited to see it finish off the battle with a win. Next up, in the number 9 spot, we have the Black City Bisharps, moving up 5 spots this week back into the top 10, now with a 5-5 record, and also winning their battle 1-0 this week. A nice Mega Mewtwo set, really put in some good work, and perhaps a misplay by the opponent did allow them to win, but overall the Black City Bisharps did what they needed to do to put themselves in a winning position. Coming in at the number 8 spot this week, we have the Warsaw Weaviles. The Warsaw Weaviles taking a 3-spot drop this week, now with the 6-4 overall record and losing their battle 3-0. Did have a couple of unfortunate crits against them in this game, and they brought a Calm Mind Weavile, clearly just for the lulls of the battle, but not exactly something that would benefit them in this situation. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have the Crazy Kermit Club, falling 4 spots this week out of the top 5 with their 6-4 record, losing their battle 1-0 to those Black City Bisharps. Like I said, perhaps a misplay or misclick by them in this battle may have ended up costing them the game. However, let's not take away from the well-played Black City Bisharps. Next up, in the number 6 spot is going to be your main red Clowitzers. The Clowitzers now with the 6-4 record, moving themselves up 1 spot this week, winning their battle 3-0 with a very nice Mega T-Tar lead play, and then Magearna to finish off the opponent, really keeping the opponent on the back foot for most of the game. So well played by the main red Clowitzers. Now let's go ahead and move into the top 5 spots this week, post your Week 10 battles, and we are starting off with the Melbourne Staryu. The Melbourne Staryus now with the 6-4 record, moving up 3 spaces into the top 5 with a 3-0 victory over those Warsaw Weaviles that we talked about. Did get a few lucky crits, but with a nice Giratina set and the Flame Charge Celesteela to finish off the battle. Very well played by the Melbourne Staryus all around in this match. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the Lexington Leafians, now with the 7-3 record and moving up 2 spaces back into the top 5, winning their battle 4-0. Did perhaps get a little greedy with the second Swords Dance on the Talonflame, but the Scarf Jirachi was a fantastic bring in this battle, really putting in the work for the Leafeons in the game. Next up, in the number 3 spot is going to be the Haxo Haldarin, moving up 1 space this week with the 7-3 record and completing a 6-0 sweep of their opponent, spreading Toxic around with seemingly every Pokemon on the team knowing Toxic, or at least that's what it looked like. So really wearing down the opponent, and then having the Marshadow steal the stats of the Cofagrigus that was allowed to set up, putting in just the finest of work. Next up in the number 2 spot is the Wellington Ho-Oh. The Wellington Ho-Oh with the 8-2 record. Still in the second space this week here, winning their battle 5-0 this week. Very good predictions in this battle. Once again, the Trick Room bring was very nice, and taking advantage of the opponent's Sun with their own Heatran really put in the work under the Trick Room. So just well played and well prepped by the Wellington Ho-Ohs. And last but not least is the number 1 spot, your Boston Celebi, once again taking the number 1 spot with that league-leading 9-1 record. Unfortunately, because of a forfeit win, but really not deserving of dropping even one space just from their pure dominance of the league so far this season. So guys, that is going to be your Week 10 power rankings for the Pokemon Uber League. And like I said at the beginning of the video, hit that like button down below and subscribe for our Draft League content. Make sure you guys check out the links in the description down below where you can find some of our active coaches on YouTube as well as myself. And once again, I am the Online Orphan, signing out.